We're up to disc 4, the second disc of Vault tracks. Let's do it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. And today we are going to be talking about disc 4, which is the second disc of Vault tracks that are included on the 1999 Deluxe Edition. I think I like this disc better than the last one, but it could just be a personal preference. I don't really know. Before we jump into that, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend releases a new video. Also check out patreon.com/princessfriend. As for the month of December, I'm going to be sharing something new with my patrons every day leading up to Christmas. Lots of fun, and I can't wait for all of you to come join in on the celebration. With all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and listen to the music because there's some good ones on here.
I'm possessed. And I don't know what to do. I'm possessed. And I'm stoned, I'm crazy.
Immediately upon hearing the beginning of this version of Possessed from 1982, I can honestly hear why it was largely not used, because it kind of sounds similar to the beat for Nasty Girl that was put out by Vanity 6. And I think Prince was like, that's a really cool beat. You know what? I'm gonna take that from here, and I think I can better use it over here. And it's fun to hear an earlier version, a slowed down version of the one that we got on Purple Rain Deluxe. You can tell this is where Prince was trying to still figure out like which parts are gonna be synths, which one's guitar. There's a little bit of different arrangement, and obviously, like I said, it's slower. And it's really cool to see kind of the building blocks of what this track would eventually become.
I get delirious. Wherever you need love, I get delirious. Oh, wherever you need love.
The next track is Delirious, the full version. Lisa Coleman actually was in studio on this one, so it wasn't like she didn't layer her voices on later on. She was there in the studio. And it took the 4-minute version that's on the album and extended it to 6 minutes. Essentially, there's a slightly longer intro, there's a little bit more crooning before the breakdown, and there's some added instrumentality at the end. The most interesting thing to me is I heard Delirious, I think for the first time, when I was watching Cheech and Chong Still Smoking, if anybody still watches Cheech and Chong movies. But I remember hearing Delirious there, and I remember hearing it and going like, this is slightly different than the version that's on the album, and it's because they apparently had access to the full version to include different snippets of that song in the movie. I don't know, it's just a weird thing, but I love Delirious, and having more Delirious is never a bad thing.
Don't need no reefer, don't need cocaine. Purple music does the same to my brain. I'm high, so high.
So Purple Music has always been one of my all-time favorite bootleg tracks that I've had access to over the years. And all I can say is that it is amazing to finally have it here in a remastered, mostly finalized form. Like it's such a good song. But this track is funky, it's electric, it's eclectic, and it's totally Prince. He is speaking his truth on this song like no one else could. And it's about the revolution of music that he was going to bring to the world. And a lot of people say that Purple Rain was Prince's response to Purple Haze from Jimi Hendrix. And I'm like, no, that's not it, guys. It's not it. Guess what is, though? Purple Music is his response to Purple Haze. Because Purple Haze is all about kind of like the haze you're in when you're doing drugs and stuff like that. And this song is specifically saying, I don't need those drugs, I have music. Love this song on like so many levels. I was so happy when it was included here.
Keep singing, yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. There's more to life than spitting when you talk, say, yeah, you know. What's the matter?
So the quote in the booklet that was included with Yeah You Know was, I write in my head, the rest is just dictation. And I really like that way of thinking. Like, Prince has already thought of the song, he just needs to get it down somewhere. This song was recorded all by Prince in his home studio, aptly called Star Studios, and it feels a little old-timey. It actually shows a really fun side, more of his humor, of Prince. Like, he's talking about like people spitting when they talk, and he makes fun of the Andy Griffith Show at one point. So it's pretty cool to see his humor in this song, reflecting so much of what we already know about Prince, but the more people that can hear that fun side of him, I think the better. Like, I think Prince could have done like observation comedy with this song. Like, it's pretty funny. It is a relatively short song, but it's fun and it's catchy. So I'm going to put a link to my review of Moonbeam Levels down in the description so that you can check that out. But what I'll say is that Moonbeam Levels was included in the Forever kind of a greatest hits compilation that was put out right after Prince passed. And now having it on 1999 Deluxe means Prince Forever can go the way of the dinosaur at this point. There is zero reason to buy that now. So when you're done watching this, go watch that, seriously.
So I say no, call you, you call me. Love is true, I will see. Can't listen to my music, 'cause when you go, another will do.
So on No Call You, which is like a Yoda way of saying what he's actually saying in the song, Jill Jones did sing backup vocals in the studio on the track, and then later on when she was working with Prince on her solo album, her first solo album, she did come in and do a version with her on leads that didn't actually make the album. The song itself, though, feels like it's right out of church. It's like jumpy and it's celebratory and like it has that feel to it. And coupled with the lyrics, I think that makes it really cool. Like, I'm here celebrating, I'm here partying, I got the Lord on my side. So if you want to be a part of this, then all you have to do is call, but I ain't calling you. My only gripe with this song is that it has a couple of the issues that some of these other remasters have, and that's that the instruments are higher than his vocals. So there were many points in the song where I couldn't even understand what he was saying because the music was so loud. Like, they could just tweak it ever so slightly and I would be happy. I'm just saying, it's just something, I'm the reviewer here, I have to point it out. Otherwise, it's fun as hell. It's a great track. So in the booklet, Dwayne Tudal compares this version of Can't Stop the Feeling I Got to a Devo-esque track, and you know what? I can hear that. I think it's mostly the repetitive synths that give it that style and that sound, but we all know that Prince ended up finalizing this track on 1990's Graffiti Bridge. It was the very first track that you hear, but I feel like this song was really only victim to the limitations that Prince had at that time technologically. The booklet says that it's like 16 tracks and he's layering over layering and he's making all of this craziness, and it still just wasn't right for him. We all know that Prince released songs when he felt that they were right and when he had a place for them, and this one didn't get released until he was able to accomplish that much bigger feel that he could get only after opening Paisley Park. But you actually got that a lot with both Batman and Graffiti Bridge. Both of those are him kind of dipping back into his vault for older songs and taking them into Paisley and like polishing them off and making them amazing songs. So he ended up taking this kind of rough track and making it into gold, in my opinion. But even this version is pretty good.
So if you see me, walk on by, baby. Don't say nothing. Walk on by now. Do yourself a favor.
And that thing that I was talking about with Can't Stop the Feeling I Got, I wish this song had gotten what I call the Prince treatment, where Prince would go back and get old songs and then he would like revamp them, add to them, create that magic, and then he would re-release them. Do Yourself a Favor is actually a good song, but it drags a bit. I think it's maybe, a minute and a half longer than it should be. There's really no rising or falling, like it just kind of stays in its lane, as I've said before. I dig the message of the song, the lyrics are on point. You can tell that there's a lot of creativity in this song, but it never really reached that amazingness that I think it deserved. Like, had Prince taken this song song and added some MPG horns, or got Michael Bland to drum on this one, or was able to add like a funky bass line or something to it, like those sorts of things would just bring this track to life in an amazing way. That said, the booklet actually says that this song was written by Pepe Willie, and that Prince sang the vocals kind of over his track that he created. And that this version is actually what Prince recreated of that song from memory. Like, wow. That is an amazing feat, but also I think might explain why he didn't go back and grab this song and revamp it and make it amazing. You know, Prince was very much into his original works around this time, so going back and grabbing a song that wasn't really his, yeah, and it's probably why.
Don't let it fool ya. No, we got a big old Cadillac. Don't let it fool ya. Pretty soon you'll have to take it back.
So the next track is Don't Let Him Fool You, and it has the feel of a song that he would have written for the time. But the lyrics are exactly the opposite of what he would have written for Morris to sing as the Morris persona. I could see the kids singing this one in Purple Rain, adopting Morris's persona to show Apollonia how silly it all is. Like, don't be shallow and get dragged in by the appearance of money and wealth that Morris and Jerome had in the movie. You should be with me. Don't let him fool ya. Prince did this song all by himself, every instrument, every vocal. It's obvious on there when you listen to it, and is really awesome. I think it shows just how amazing he was. Is it the best song on here? No. Is it a really good song though? Yeah.
Teacher, teacher, I don't wanna get in there. Teacher, teacher, it's gotta be a better way.
So Teacher, Teacher, I like this song. It feels very much like old Motown to me. Very classic, very seemingly wholesome. Of course we're talking about Prince here though, so it's not wholesome at all. So it's a song about not being in love with somebody who is teaching you about love, and of course when Prince is talking about love here, he's talking about sex. The booklet actually says that he later revisited this song with Wendy and Lisa in 1985. My guess would be for the Roadhouse Garden album that they were working on around that time, but this earlier version is Prince on all the vocals and the instruments and all of that stuff. This man could really, really do it all, and this song is another example of that. So when I saw the title, Lady Cab Driver, I Want to Be Your Lover, Little Red Corvette, tour demo, I was like, so what does that mean? What does tour demo mean? Is it a demo that they would give away while they were on tour? No, you're gonna like this story. So reading the booklet, it lays out that Prince put this together and gave it to all of the members of the band on a cassette to show them how he wanted to transition from Lady Cab Driver to I Want to Be Your Lover to a little bit of Head in there, and then to Little Red Corvette on stage in the concert. All this work to show them how to do it. He's like, look, I already did it, you just have to do what I did. Like, wow. And they performed this on February 1st, 1983, and then never again because Prince decided to drop I Want to Be Your Lover and Head from the set list, meaning he did all of this work for one show, and then you have to assume he probably did a whole other one for the next show. So again, wow, Prince was a perfectionist, and Prince used that perfectionism to make amazing art. So my conclusion on disc 4, which is the second disc of Vault Tracks, is I like this one better than the other. Again, there doesn't seem to be any correlation to these songs to the rest of the songs. I think it could have been interesting if one of these two CDs was all of the alternate versions of songs, and then the other one was all kind of brand newer tracks that, like, you know, brand new, obviously none of this stuff is brand new, but, you know, different tracks that weren't just songs that we already got. And maybe I might have put it that way, but even just mixing them up, I don't think it really matters. They're all really good. I think I like this disc better than the other disc, although most people have it digitally and you're just gonna hit shuffle and it's gonna go in whatever order anyway. But if I was to really use like physical discs and I had to choose which one, this one or the other Vault one, which one to put in, I would probably put this one in. I feel like this one has the stronger tracks, the more complete feeling tracks. The standouts obviously being Purple Music, Moonbeam Levels if you didn't already have Prince Forever, and Don't Let 'Em Fool You for me. I dig that song a lot. And there are a lot of people who are talking about how they left off Lust You Always and Extra Lovable from this set. And a lot of people are really mad about that. Some people are like, I'm not gonna buy it because they don't have those two songs on it. But I'm not feeling the hole here that other people are like saying there's like, oh man, like I'm feeling a hole, like it doesn't feel complete without those two songs. Like, I mean, for me, like not really. I think Lust You Always could have made it on here, but Extra Lovable, it didn't need to be on here. There are other versions of Extra Lovable which are better, in my opinion, because it got that Prince treatment that I was talking about earlier. And also, why create problems for yourself? I think personally this is a great collection of songs from that era. There's probably even more that we'll never hear, or maybe they'll come out with a 1999 Deluxe Edition 2 or something like that. So far, so good. I'm loving the additional music that we're getting here, and I can't wait to go over more. Next video is going to be going over the live stuff, both the live audio disc and the live DVD, and I can't wait to bring that to you. But obviously we need to keep talking about these Vault tracks, so let's continue the discussion down in the comments. I want to know what you guys think of the second disc of Vault tracks. Also, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you always know when Prince's Friend releases a new video. Follow us at Prince's Friend YT on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And check out that Patreon, patreon.com/PrincessFriend. Help support the channel. Otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. I love you all.